Good day, everybody. This is our second edition of Tree Talk, and I'm going to be sharing with you on every one of these podcasts that we do our vision, and because we all have to understand it and we have to live it. So, just to remind you, our vision is to empower small growers and forestry companies to sell their responsibly produced forest products into the mainstream global market. Three things important. The first one is we are empowering small growers, but also companies, forestry companies. Secondly, we need to ensure that what they produce is produced responsibly, and that is like through certification in FSC or the European Union Deforestation Regulation or EUDR requirements, that those are met, and that this can be scaled and therefore go into the mainstream global market instead of having it as a niche product line in the specific forestry products that our clients produce. So those are the key things that we empower the small growers and companies to be responsible and to be able to sell that product. I also would like to remind you that in order for our client base to be incentivized to do the right thing, there also needs to be some form of advantage in the market, like a premium. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I move on through to the discussion and the feedback I'm giving you. Another way that we can put this whole thing is to say that CMO can strive to become the largest forestry company in the world without owning a single tree. And that is through our Pillar 1, where we manage these large projects as what we're doing in Gabon and in Zimbabwe, and through our group scheme approach, where we manage large forest tracts of land on behalf of our clients. So that just gives you the perspective of where the company is going and where we're aiming at. Let's take a little bit of a look at where we are standing financially. Our financial figures year to date, remember our financial year starts on the 1st of August and it runs through to 28 February of the following year. And we are now, we've just had our financial figures for the end of August that's been finalized by Christy, our CFO, and it was presented to our senior team a few weeks ago, as well as presented to the board. Well, up to year to date, up to the end of August, from March to the end of August, we are still 24% ahead of budget, and that's because we've underspent slightly and we have made more revenue than what we budgeted for. So that's very positive for us. However, the month of August, we did not make budget. We were slightly below budget, and there are several reasons for that, of which most of it is beyond our control. For example, issues with getting our tax clearance issued in Zimbabwe when everything is in fact in order, and struggling to get the certificates out, which means we cannot invoice certain amounts. So all in all, we are in a good position. I would like to talk a little bit about the pillars that we've got, Pillar 1, Pillar 2, Pillar 3, and Pillar 4, as feedback to our whole team. Under Pillar 1, which is managed by Andrew McEwen, we've seen that Pillar 1 has excelled in this financial year and is ahead of budget, doing very well, and that the team itself has grown substantially in Pillar 1. We must also remember that the work that we're doing with the establishment of the large eucalyptus plantations in Gabon under the leadership of Ben Potgieter, that is all under Pillar 1. And coming to our projects in Gabon, we do have some bad news, and that is that because of the coup d'etat that took place in Gabon a few weeks ago, all expats have been asked to leave the country. There's a big shake-up within Gabon, and our project has been put on hold. We've withdrawn all our staff from Gabon. Everybody is back in South Africa, and time will tell what's going to happen with that project, although we are hopeful that we'll start up early in quarter 1 in 2024, early in the new year. So until then, we are marking time and we'll see where we go with this. We are in discussions with our client in Gabon to ensure that our financial losses are minimized. Of course, we are losing profit. Even though we may not lose money, we will be not making the profits that we have budgeted for in these months while the project is on hold. I think that's important for everybody to be aware of, that we've had that setback in Gabon. Also under Pillar 1, Andrew has done immense good work, and there's a large project that's on the go in Uganda. The wood mill project is we're one of the major players in that, and that is to get to be able to establish at national level processing facility or facilities, so that this wall of wood that's been planted over the last 20 years or so in Uganda, that there is a processing offtake for the wood that's coming from the small grower plantations. So it's a very exciting project, and we're involved with that in Uganda. Andrew's also involved with a lot of other projects that I'm not going to touch on now, but I would like to talk about what Ginge is doing also under Pillar 1. We've been given a contract to basically establish and manage one of the 4 estates of border timbers in Zimbabwe. That is this estate of Tilbury, and we have basically come to an agreement to appoint a South African forester who will be running that project on our behalf. We are busy finalizing his visa or work permit, and when all this is done, hopefully it will still be in place in early October. Yeah, so just to say that all is really very healthy in Pillar 1, except for the drawback that we've had in Gabon. I'm moving on to Pillar 2. As you know, that within Pillar 2, I've taken over the responsibility again. That is certification services. And here we are doing FSC certification, predominantly in group schemes for both forest management and chain of custody. It also includes a complementary PFC, and finally, it now includes European Union Deforestation Regulation certification. I'm using the word certification slightly loosely with the EUDR, but it's just to give you a context of where that fits in. We are using EUDR as an enabler, and probably there are 2 extremely important objectives that we have to achieve over the next 6 to 8 months in this company. The first one is that we have to scale under Pillar 2 our either EUDR or FSC or a combination of that in the countries where we are working in. And in Thailand, we have Thailand produces 1/3 of the world's rubber, and we are working with the Rubber Authority of Thailand to implement the scheme that we've put together. As you know, the big advantage of CMO's group schemes is, first of all, it's simple. Secondly, it is affordable for the small grower. And thirdly, therefore, we can scale it. And our objective is to scale, to have hundreds of thousands of small growers here in Thailand on our group scheme under FSC. And this will allow us, by the end of next year, when we run out of our runway, to be able to have money in the bank and for the company to move on in a healthy way. So that's why I am so involved here, is to help our team in Southeast Asia to scale. We are in Thailand, we are in Malaysia, where we will be certified on the 10th to the 12th of November. We have our main assessment for FSC in Malaysia for small growers. And then we will also be moving into Vietnam in the first quarter of next year with EUDR. Here we are working with a German buyer and processor in the rubber that's been on the scene for over 150 years, very well established and reputable company. We are very excited about this because they are the first people who are also willing now to pay a premium for the rubber. And that's why I said once we get premiums, we can have a sustainable solution for our small growers. Yeah, we also looking at at Africa, where we're maintaining our certificates in the existing countries, and Cornelis van der Berg, who's part of Pillar 2, with Chorus van der Berg, is looking after that specific area. Chorus is still helping us as the country manager in South Africa, and I really believe in Chorus as a mentor for our young and up-and-coming group scheme managers like Zinsley, who he's mentoring at the moment. Then moving on to Pillar 3, it was quite complex for us to find our feet under Pillar 3, which is nature-based carbon, which is run by Suske Terblanche. But now, with all the work that Suska's put in, Pillar 3 is also taking off, and Suske actually had to appoint Philippa, first understudy, so to speak, that's going to help her with the work because she's totally out of capacity at the moment. And then coming to Pillar 4, which is run, of course, by Daniel van Heinitz, our digital pillar. Pillar 4 is the second large, important, critical thing that we have to do over the next 12 to 18 months, and that is to make sure that our software is finally simple, slick, workable, and meeting all our targets. I think we're making very good progress with this. Daniel is in the process of appointing one more developer, and that will probably be in place in the next month or so. But I'm very, very confident that we're on the right track with software. I like the way that Daniel manages his team, and I think he's got a very, very strong team now. And we have to give him the backing that he requires to be able to do the work that he needs to do, because, of course, CMO is 100% dependent on the success of digital bringing to the party what we require over the next 12 months or so. Also with Forest Trader, our date to launch now, because we had a lot of issues that we had to sort out on the software. The launching date is 7 October, and Sonja van Zyl is helping us a lot on the digital side, and that project is directly being managed by Leilani Fourie now. So yeah, all in all, I'm very positive, confident as ever that Forest Trader is going to do it for us. And I believe we've now got the right people in the right place at the right time for us to launch and to scale this product successfully. Well, that's about it. I don't want to ever talk more than about 15 minutes. And this has been a fairly long and outstretched feedback session I've given you. But as a final concluding remark, I would like to thank everybody again in CMO. We have a hard-working, positive, exciting team in all our pillars and in all our countries. It is so remarkable for me when I visit the countries and when I interact with our leadership to see the quality and caliber of people we've got. And I would like to encourage all of you to keep up the hard work and to push and get us over the line for the end of next year, so that we are totally independent and that we can move on this very, very important journey of making the world a better place. I thank you all.